What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Now, I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss when we will get the Ghost of Tsushima release date. Now, this kind of goes into a bigger overall problem about Ghost of Tsushima that I do want to talk about in future videos. So I do want to make more Ghost of Tsushima videos. Let me know in the comments below, and also make sure to let me know that you guys like these kind of videos in general by obviously leaving me a like and leaving in the comments whatever you want to discuss about Ghost of Tsushima. But here we are. It's February, right? We're halfway done. We're actually more than halfway done with February. And Ghost of Tsushima is probably supposed to come out rather soon, right? They said summer. Now, summer could either mean the very end of June, July, or August. It really doesn't apply to like a September. I've gone on record. I've made even videos before, right? And I've said I think August would probably be a good time to do it. July works with some games, but doesn't always work. And Sony really doesn't do anything in July. So August is a bit more up their alley. So I think that is around the time. But here's the thing, like, when are you gonna say it? Like, well, really, because here's the deal. The PS5, and that's another thing to think of, too. The first thing you'd probably think of is, well, maybe the PS5 reveal event. And there are ways I think they could talk about Ghost of Tsushima there, but if it's to reveal the PS5, and Ghost of Tsushima is not a PS5 game, then, therefore, it really shouldn't be there, unless they do something like, hey, here's a new thing of Ghost of Tsushima, here's it running on the PS5, here's when it's coming out in August, let's just say, for PS4, and also, it's going to have a PS5 version launching day one with the PS5, something like that. I think if they did that, if there's really like a secret next-gen version of Ghost of Tsushima that Sucker Punch is working on, I could see them saying, like, you could bundle them, basically, right? You could say, okay, here's the release date for this, and also there's a PS5 version coming, and here's the release date for that as well. I think that's a pretty good idea, and to be quite honest with you, there's really, like, I guess it's big enough that you can just give the release date whenever you want. Obviously, Sony is a huge publisher. They don't need to have a convention or a conference for it. But, again, here we are in February, and it's like, it's only 6 months away. August is only 6 months away from right now. And, like, you gotta give, as much as, again, like, we may not be the biggest fans of talking about it, at least, like, pre-orders and stuff like that, it is very important, okay? And you really, we're at an age of games. I know a lot of people have even said, like, don't pre-order games anymore. You know, obviously, with all the things that publishers and developers pull on us, don't pre-order games. But to publishers, to developers, pre-orders are very, very important. So you want as many pre-orders as possible. You got to announce the game with a good amount of time left in order to get people into pre-ordering it. And another thing that's really weird with Ghost of Tsushima in general is we still haven't had all that much info on the game. Like, we've got basically 2 gameplay segments, or maybe like 20, 25 minutes of trailers, of gameplay in general for all of Ghost of Tsushima. That honestly is not that much. And for a game published by Sony, where you talk about it for years and you show it for years and all this kind of stuff, like, I don't know, it just seems really weird what they're doing with it. I feel like these are all kind of signs that they don't have a lot of confidence in this game, especially with it being the last PS4 exclusive. And again, I want to talk about that aspect specifically about it in the next video. But release date is extremely important, honestly, and it's very telling, I think, the way they're handling it, right? If they are waiting and waiting and waiting, they give us like 3 months. Now, again, look, you could argue, all right, well, there's lots of publishers, Warner Bros., for example, we've said it 1,000 times in videos, they announce their game, and then they releases like 3-4 months later. Or, I mean, sometimes literally 3.5 months later. They did it with Mortal Kombat. Batman games tend to come out 5-6 months after they announce them. So stuff like that, where you could say, well, that's not a lot of time to get those pre-orders. But, I mean, 5-6 months is reasonable, and you could do it even longer than that. But for a game like Ghost of Tsushima, all right, that's this month. And that's this month. If you want to give people 6 months to do it, that's this month. If you keep waiting, that's less and less time. And it's just very, and like, it's fine. It's just very uncharacteristic for Sony. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it paid off for Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 11 was like the biggest one they've ever had. It sold outrageous. I think it was like the 4th or 5th best-selling game of the entire year last year. And okay, you could say, well, didn't really hurt them. That's just how they do it, though. For Sony, again, it's just very uncharacteristic that we're this close to it, basically. And by the way, that's only assuming it comes out in August. August? What if it came out? What if it comes out late June? Because they've had history of doing games, and games in general have history of doing quite well. Late June, first week of July, last week of June works really well. July is very, you don't really know. Nintendo has been very bold and done games there, but Sony really doesn't. And then late August is pretty much when things pick up again. So it's like this game could actually come out late June. That's totally possible, but like the longer we go, the longer I'm sure it's not late June, because it's just we don't have enough time in between it. It's very, very weird. I think, again, my prediction would be we're either going to get this as the PS5 event, and maybe that's just really delaying it. Like, maybe they want to do more on Ghost of Tsushima. There's also the possibility, The Last of Us Part 2 is going to PAX East at the end of this month. They're going to have the first playable demo, like, for actual people to be able to have their hands on The Last of Us Part 2. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima's there. Maybe they announce it there. So late February is potentially a possibility as well. I think that before the end of March, you need this game to have a release date. I don't think you can go into April, because all the talk would be on Final Fantasy VII, and then when you get to May, it's all on The Last of Us Part 2. I don't think you can get past the end of March without its release date. And again, like if you do it in March at any point, I really don't see how you release it in June. That's just really, really close to it. I guess you could do that. Again, it would just be very odd. It would be very uncharacteristic of Sony to actually do that. So I would predict before March. I'd say, again, if they could bundle it and say, hey, there's a secret version of the there's a PS5 version that we've had, and remember, including myself, there were a lot of people that thought maybe this would be a cross-generation game, with it seemingly have gotten delayed internally multiple times, with there not being a lot of information on it. People had suggested, like, hey, maybe it's been pushed to the fall of 2020, maybe it's going to be a game that releases on both PS4 and PS5, and then pretty much, Sony had said, like, no, it's still a PS4 game, and it's coming out in the summer, which is just at the very edge, almost kind of suggesting like, well, it only needs like a 2-month delay, and then we could just say it's coming out on both, right? It really is only one delay away, one public delay away, saying, hey, it was supposed to be in the summer, but now it's in the fall, and by the way, we're going to have it come out on both. It's only one delay away from that happening. Now, I think with every passing week, with every passing month, it becomes more and more of a question that you need to ask yourself of, is this game still only for the PS4? I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm super excited for this game, even with the very little info we have on it. I think there's so much potential. There's also a lot of negativity there, and there's also a lot of things that can go wrong, and I'm definitely up for talking about both, and I think I can be a fair critic of it, but I have confidence in them, and I also really, really hope this game can be good. But again, the release date just kind of adds on to that and says, well, haven't seen a lot, still no release date, we're getting closer and closer, they really should give us something, and like, where is it? So, again, I think before the end of March is where I'd set my sights for when we would get something. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think? When do you think we're getting Ghost of Tsushima's release date? Do you think it's coming out in August? Do you think it's going to get delayed again? What do you think's going on with this game in all? Again, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel podcast now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you so much for watching. Again, more Ghost of Tsushima videos coming very, very soon. Want to talk about some different things about this game. And once we get more info on it, where I can start making maybe gameplay kind of discussions, I'll definitely do that. We just need more info on this game before I can start making those videos, okay? So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.